What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon, and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. Now we are joined by Arwin, Paul Hall, 10th Man, and a whole bunch of people in Discord. So welcome one and all.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello. Does that sound better?
That's better, Paul. Much better. You crack on with
Nathan's
that?
late because he was chewing up a baller.
I'm going to tell him off. When we get to the concluding point, right, I'm no longer going to do that shite where we go round in circles 16 times with them never actually acknowledging the point. I'm going to get to the point, labour it a couple of times, and then I'm going to lay into them, tear a strip off them while they laugh because they're basically petrified. And I'm going to do that to them every single time we get to a concluding point where they're demonstrated to be stupid. No longer will it be the case that I feel it's necessary to, oh right, so you object to this concluding point, this highlighting of your complete contradictory point, and what we should just go through it 5 more times. No, I'm going to tell you off. Say it like it is, call you an idiot.
What?
That's what I'm going to do from now on. And the people aren't going to like it. The people who come here, they're not going to like getting told off. They'll behave like the clown in the pre-show. Start getting all high-pitched and saying, oh, I'm not getting a chance to explain myself. When it's been explained, it's been dissected, it's been highlighted how stupid it is, and we're at the stage where I'm telling them off, and they don't know what the hell to do, because they've got a flat earther telling them off. Shout out to
You think
Unitox
they don't
family.
understand the contradiction?
I'm not going to explain it 6 times, just going to tell them off. no worries. I really enjoy it. Tearing a strip off globe heads and telling them how stupid they are. Oh, just in my element, man. I'm loving it. A few people have pointed out I seem power hungry. No, I'm just sick to death of going round in circles 5 times when someone's demonstrably stupid. No, once they've been proven stupid, they're going to have that highlighted to them. And if they don't understand or feel they haven't had a chance to explain, we'll just point out how stupid it is that they feel that they need to give an extra explanation when it's already been pulled apart. In other words, we will continue to berate them. Hopefully we'll have a few people crying on the show for defending their globe religion and having it fail miserably at the hand of tyrant flat earthers who will simply shame them for their stupidity. And that's precisely what's going to happen here from now on. Come here with a stupid argument about how a physical geometric sphere edge horizon isn't physical and can't be seen. I'm going to point out the contradiction, laugh at you, and then berate you for your abject stupidity, like the guy in the pre-show. Now, he obviously didn't like getting told off. Obviously wanted another try at proving why something physical can't be seen and how that's not a contradiction. No, we're just going to point out how stupid that sounds from now on in.
They got to take the Spider Daddy approach.
Wait, did he say that the geometrical horizon was not physical?
Yeah, he wanted to spend a significant time explaining, after that was pointed out, that contradiction was pointed out, why it wouldn't be seen. And I'm like, you've just claimed it's blocking boats and buildings, and now you want a prolonged period to explain how we can't see it? That's where I started telling him off. And that's, like I say, how things will continue. We'll have the angry flat earth man telling you off for your stupidity, and we'll have people bleating with adverts for me. Oh, look how angry he is. Yeah. And I'll be sitting here laughing as you completely ignore the demolition of the nonsense that your fundy glowbed brethren came here with.
It seems kind of silly, you know? Like, if they would double speak in response and say, like, okay, you don't see the geometrical horizon. Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's one thing. But to say it's not physical? What?
Look, I know you don't
That's like
want
an
to
unnecessary
have, like, a
step.
We're talking
civil
about you,
dialogue.
super guy.
but
Sorry, do you think that
maybe-
us talking about you means you can interrupt us? Sit down, shut up. Go ahead, Arwin.
No,
It's just I don't see even the presupposition or necessity of making such statement. Why? You know, you can't see it. All right, that kind of fixes it, sort of temporary. Yeah, you still have to figure it out, and it won't work because of refraction and horizons. And yeah, the horizon doesn't displace because of refraction in relation to the horizon. That can't happen and all that. So you're already in big trouble. But to say a geometrical horizon is not physical, that's just... do you live as a digital program in a digital realm or something?
You might have to
I don't
explain
get
the
it.
contradiction in terms. He struggles with contradictions, Arwin. So you're going to have to labour how that's a contradiction in terms to him, because he's not just going to get it by you saying how stupid it is to assert that something that's geometric isn't physical, and the absurdity.
Nathan, look, I know you don't want to have like a civil.
Oh, you know
forth,
what I want, do
but-
you? Sorry, you're about to start your statement by telling me that you know what I want. No, don't divine.
you've sort of
Excuse me, shut up.
demonstrated that.
You're not going to divine my thoughts with your crystal ball. Not only have
Well,
you
you've
demonstrated
been,
yourself so stupid that I'm about to tell you
you've
off
been
once.
fantasizing
Now I'm
about
having
how
to
you're
tell you
going
for the
to,
second time
like, tell
to
me
sit
off.
down and shut up.
Then-
Are you not hearing me? This is the second time I've told you to shut up and sit down. What aren't you hearing? We don't want you interrupting our conversation about you. Yeah, with more nonsense. That means sit down, shut up. If we address you, we will say your name. You will know if we are talking to you. From this point, your privileges in terms of just interjecting ended with your contradiction that I had to point out 5 times in the pre-show and then tell you off while you sniggered, justified your stuttering and stammering, and went all high-pitched. Now you will sit down and shut up while Arwin explains how what you have just said is also a glaring contradiction in terms. You understand? Rhetorical. Don't reply. Go ahead, Arwin.
Okay, right. So the sphere Earth, presupposed, is a literal ball. That's the claim, right? So a literal ball means a physical ball, and they love to compare it by like a ball you can put in your hand. That's also a physical ball. So a geometrical horizon is a side effect of geometry and of a physical literal ball. So to claim that a geometrical horizon is not physical is so absurd because it's all about the physical sphere. So how can you then say it's not physical, like you're tapping into some virtual reality instead of trying to describe the physical reality? What is this?
It's nonsense.
I can't make sense of it.
You can't, because it's nonsense. To be a physical geometric sphere edge horizon, it's got to be physical. And their claim is we have a physical sphere beneath our feet. And as Arwin correctly identifies, that would leave you with a physical sphere edge. It's kind of ipso facto, that's what you'd have if we were on a sphere. Not, well, we'll justify why we don't see it, like we justify why we don't have Coriolis effect. No, it must be there if we're on a sphere. A consequence of having geometry, as you claim, proves the sphere. It's just been undone by us.
Right.
Right, let's move on with housekeeping. Any evidence of Earth turn? Axial rotation.
No Coriolis.
Right.
Ex Mr. Super Guy.
No, the Earth
Can
is.
I ask a
um,
silly
method
question?
speak
Hold
now?
on, Arwin. Go ahead, super guy.
Alright. So when I was saying earlier that it's kind of a misnomer to describe the horizon as a
Any
physical
evidence of
location.
axial rotation? Are you deaf? Do you think that this is
Oh,
just
right.
about you and your nonsense? Do you think that this entire show is going to be based around the horseshit contradiction that you declared in the pre-show? No. Any evidence of axial rotation? We've already gone through your contradictory physical but yet non-physical statement in the pre-show.
Alright, I think I'll bow then for this bit.
Don't you think you're on a sphere that spins? Surely you've got some evidence of axial rotation. You of all people who believes you're on a sphere.
I think I'll just bow and listen for a bit.
Mumble, mumble. Spinning globe? Isn't that your belief?
I mean, yeah.
Oh, any evidence to justify this fundamentalist zealotry?
I don't know. What about the stars? If you're in the southern hemisphere,
Begging the question. Stop.
Oh my
Hemisphere?
God.
Sorry. Let's just explain it to him immediately, very quickly, and then tell him off for being stupid. Hemisphere? So you're automatically assuming your sphere in the premise that you're about to lay out, then?
Hmm?
Sorry, was
So
that
can you repeat
yes?
the question? No, can you repeat the question? I didn't catch it.
So you are, by way of this word hemisphere, automatically Neil, can you go on mute?
Sorry.
So with this word hemisphere, you are in your supposition now automatically assuming that when travelling south, we're travelling to a hemisphere. So you've already assumed we're on a sphere with this word hemisphere then? Begging the question, mate.
I mean, I can
Beg
change
the
way I
question.
word it if that-
You can beg the
that would trigger
question.
you.
Yeah, what you
Big
need
word.
to say is, yes, Nathan, that's right, because I'm going to start telling you off if you don't. I'll say it once more. You will not interrupt
All
me,
right.
Mr. Super Guy. That means shut up. To state the word hemisphere is to automatically assume that which you are trying to prove, which is sphere Earth, by stating that you are travelling to the bottom of a sphere already assumed with the word hemisphere. This is begging the question, also known as assuming your outcome. Your outcome is sphere assumed with the word hemisphere. Say, yes, O wise one.
Yes, I was one. I can.
Now shut up, you stupid clown.
I can.
You can shut up. Have I got to really berate you again? Don't beg the question, you stupid globeheads. How many times have I got to tear a strip off another fundy retard for automatically assuming the very thing he's trying to prove? Hemisphere begs the question, moron. Now sit down and shut up with your fallacious reasoning. Or maybe laugh. Do you want to have a laugh? Is this funny? Your fallacious reasoning. Go on, have a good laugh. Why aren't you laughing?
Okay. Look.
Not okay.
You might have
I
actually-
thought this was funny. I'm being told all the time how funny flat earthers are. So why in unholy fuck aren't you laughing? Yeah, you sigh while I tear the second strip of the day off you, you globehead retard, with your begging the question fallacy, assuming the very thing you're trying to prove here, and all you can do is sigh. Not so funny though, is it? Don't seem to be laughing at me while I call you a retard for your fallacious reasoning and your begging the question. Doesn't seem so funny anymore now, does it, Mr. Super Guy?
I can change the wording if it.
You could laugh about it like I'm telling you to, because I'm being told how funny this is. Is it not funny? Do you want to answer my question?
What was the question again?
Why have you begged the question? Assume the very premise you're trying to prove. Are you deaf as well as retarded? Can't you keep up with the question? Do you know where you are, Mr. Super Guy?
Nathan.
Yeah.
I think he said he could change his wording. So maybe you should try that.
Oh, let's see this happen.
Yeah.
Let's see him prove Earth a sphere without assuming Earth's a sphere. Oh, this will be priceless.
Yeah. So the stars that you see in the sky are distinctively different if you're in the very north versus if you're in the very south. And when I say north and south, right, that could be whether you're in the middle of like the flat Earth or whether you're like on the outside of the flat Earth. I'm not making any assumptions.
So all of this is going to be proving flat Earth then.
Okay.
Sorry.
And if
So
you're
at this,
on,
sorry, just a quick question, a bit of clarity. You've just explained that all of this is taking place on a flat plane. So this is going to be proving flat Earth then.
No, I said it's not making assumptions about the shape of the Earth.
Well, what assumption do you need to make when all of the mathematics start with a flat plane and then the only alteration to that would be inserting...
Okay,
oh, my bad. My bad. Oh, my bad. Middle of a sentence. This fuckwit retard who begs the question thinks it's time to talk. Do you need telling off again, Mr. Super Guy? No, you're not talking. I am. You understand that, right? That's a question.
Sorry?
Yeah, you better be. Shut up when I'm talking. I've actually forgotten what the fuck we were talking about now.
He was trying to rephrase how his proof for the Earth being a globe without presupposing it.
Yeah,
It is very difficult, Nathan.
Yeah. You were going to prove the
Try.
Earth's a sphere without presupposing it, and then you detailed how you're not making any assumptions, but North is on a flat plane, right?
I'm really curious to see where you try.
The stars that you see in the sky in the very south versus the very north are distinctively different, and if you're in different parts of the south, it's going to look, very similar, right? So, like if you're in if you're in one part of the South Pole versus like another part of the South Pole.
Sorry, pole. Do you mean pole? What's this word pole?
Pole could mean the pole on a sphere, or
sorry, so you are going to beg the question then? So let me get it straight. We're going to have a false dichotomy with a sphere or a flat Earth, and it could mean sphere. So it could be that you're begging the question again then?
No, I'm using...
Sorry, no! Excuse me, clown. I think you mean yes. Could be on a sphere is begging the question, you stupid moron. Laugh. Do you want to laugh? Hello, do you want to laugh?
As a generic term,
Sorry, it sounds like you're laughing.
I am.
Yeah, that's because you're being demolished. It's a fear-induced laugh. Yeah? I absolutely assure you, my friend, I'll slow it right down if I need to. When you say pole and then detail very specifically that it could mean on a sphere, that's definitely you begging the question.
That's not...
Yeah, laugh it up. Yeah, I love those fear-induced laughs. Yeah. You don't seem to be laughing at me, though, do you? What's actually happening is you're laughing at me highlighting now for the third time that when you say could mean on a sphere, that's very much you begging the question like a complete moron with fallacious reasoning at the heart of every single example that's claimed to not beg the question. So you've very much needed to beg the question then.
When I try...
Beg the question, yeah. When you beg the question, you're going to acknowledge this, or is this going to be another 5-time go-around when you don't acknowledge the very fallacious reasoning I'm now shouting at you that you've used? You begged the question, moron, and now I'm telling you off again for begging the question, assuming the sphere that you're trying to prove. And let me guess, he's rumpusing the Discord server while I'm telling him this. Is he Discord rumpusing while I'm telling him off? Is he Discord rumpusing, Neil?
Explain to him why he's...
Hold on, Arwen, you're not helping. Arwen, you're not helping. Neil, is he Discord rumpusing rather than letting me tell him off?
I thought Rumpus was here. That's what it sounded like.
It seems, Mr. Super Guy, rather than tolerating being told off for your stupidity, you're talking continually so the Discord server can't hear me telling you off. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to have two options. You're either going to sit there in silence like a good little boy and get told off by a flat earther for your abject stupidity and use of fallacious reasoning. Yeah? Or you can toddle off like a little coward bitch and not subject yourself to me pointing out your use of fallacious reasoning despite your confidence that you could prove Earth a sphere without begging the question, which is precisely what you've just done by your statement, could be on a sphere. That's the assumption. Oh, right, he can't tolerate it. You've got no humility, Mr. Super Guy. It seems you can't tolerate being corrected. How familiar is this situation where we've got a globehead who's wrong and they just simply cannot tolerate having their error corrected? They've got to talk while their error is being corrected because they don't have any humility. They can't possibly tolerate me actually getting to the end of my statement that saying could be on an assumed sphere would be begging the question, you moron. Now we're at the stage that I've highlighted it. Now I'm going to tell you off for it. Me, the flat earther, the one with decent logic, the one that can spot a fallacy by a moron globehead who's attempting to prove the Earth a sphere without, very specifically, detailed as doing it, without begging the question, but yet in the middle of his actual example says, this could be happening on a sphere. The very textbook definition of assuming his outcome. So what have you got to say for yourself? Mr. Fallacious Reasoning begging the question, globe-believing fundamentalist zealot who can't shut up when he's getting told off? What have you got to say for yourself, clown boy? You may speak.
I'm sorry, did you say something?
Oh, the arrogance. Yeah. Way to demonstrate to my audience your total lack of humility. So, put your fingers in the ears, don't listen to getting told off. La la la, you can't tell me off. Yeah, what an epic demonstration of an abject coward's total lack of humility. I couldn't have asked for more. Your timing is impeccable. Did I say something? Yeah. I detailed your fallacious reasoning and told you off for it. Couldn't you tolerate the correction? What a coward. You're a coward. You hear me? Don't seem to have much to say anymore. Certainly not laughing. You seem to be sticking your fingers in your ears. Far from laughter, can't even listen to me. Yeah, it must be painful. I'd stick my fingers in my ears too if I was getting this kind of berating from a flat earther. Yeah, it'd be a struggle for me too. I'd go la la la. I hope the audience is enjoying this little tongue lashing I'm giving out to these globeheads. Long may it continue. Not many laughs in our direction. A few nervous sniggers though, eh? I wonder why people laugh at flat earthers. Well, I think I've got the answer. It's because we absolutely terrify them. I'm not begging the question. Yeah, that's why people laugh at flat earthers. Yeah? Like, it's been demonstrated with this clown show that's about to interrupt me. Right, clown show? Time for an interruption, right, clown show?
Yeah,
Middle of a sentence. Haven't given you permission to speak, clown show. Yeah? Oh, has he run away? Bye-bye, clown show.
He should
Goodbye.
just give up.
I
He
would
should have
too. Got another
He
person
didn't really
in
have
who
an
likes to
argument.
stick
I
his
don't know why
fingers
he
in
Give
his
him a
ears.
lot of chance there, Nathan.
Good. Didn't
No,
deserve it.
Arwen, you,
All I need to hear is someone tell me that something that's going to be physically blocking boats needs to justify a justification for why we can't see it and it is not physical. At which point he deserves being told off.
Right. Well, I did miss the first half hour of the show, of course.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough.
That's what I was about to
Fair enough,
say
fair
to
enough,
you,
my bad.
Arwen. You missed the beginning
If you
part
just
where
came
you
in-
had the chance. Why is there so many people speaking here?
It's exciting.
My goodness. All right, look, it was very simple. Nathan and I were talking about the geometric horizon being physical or not. This guy popped in and he said one thing and then later said the exact opposite. Nathan asked him to concede that he double spoke. He would not concede that he double spoke and wanted to continue double speaking. Nathan wouldn't let him. That led to 3 points. First, the horizon double speak. Second, the begging the question of the sphere. And third, when he said he wouldn't do it anymore, he brought the South Pole in and begged it again. So all Nathan was looking for was him to self-correct himself before moving on, and he would not show the humility to move on. So as hard as it was to see the guy get taken to the woodshed, he deserved it.
So there's been a turn of
Right. Well,
events.
I wanted to trim him first a little, like a bonsai bone before he just cut it down.
Fair enough. So there's been a turn of events with Thunderfoot. Some of his fans have been sending me a video of him humiliating a guy who made a fake DMCA claim against him, copyright claim for presumably fair use material. I can imagine the circumstances without even investigating it. But Thunderfoot saw to it to gain the humility required when making an error like that. Now, based on him seeking that humility, I'm now going to do the same. So based on his declaration that solid, bonded, bouncy balls are analogous to unbonded gas, a glaring error, I'm going to demand his retraction for that. I want a snivelling apology to all the flat earthers he stereotyped too, and I'm going to be demanding it until I get it. Because he is absolutely wrong at a fundamental level, and he's deceived, I said 100,000, almost 1 million people with his lies and fraud to sell his religion. And I'm going to be highlighting it indefinitely. I'm going to get a snivelling retraction out of this clown pseudo-scientist Thunderfoot.
Right.
Yeah, seek humility from those who wrong you like Thunderfoot has, and it'll bite you in the ass when you make an error. It'll be a flat earther holding you to task, asking you why you aren't laughing anymore. I do like these calm moments.
Yeah, no axial rotation of the Earth-based road.
Thank you. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Bouncy balls.
Solid gas bouncy balls? Really? Tell me more. Do I need a bit of imagination?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, you
I
bet I
don't even
do.
get it. I don't even get it, so.
Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Nope. Their field of work could only observe something, but they can't manipulate the independent variable to test it.
Here we go, Arwen. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Well, in this picture you got up right now, it seems like it's just over there, but yeah.
I thought you were going to get more specific because there was an actual picture on.
Right.
There.
Well, let's just say it's actually in your eyeball, or in this case, in the display of the picture of the original photograph. Because I don't think the sun is anywhere. It's just a side effect of the daylight when you look into it.
Just do a quick shout out because I didn't do it earlier. I did say thanks, but shout out to Unitox Femu. Hold on. Paul, can you just check your mic?
Yeah, I was trying to. Mike, okay, I got it back now. Is everything okay? Can you hear
Perfect. Shout out to
everything?
Yeah, perfect. Shout out to Unitox Femu. If I contradicted myself, I want to explain, says Unitox Femu. Thanks for the super chat. Any evidence that you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon?
That's it.
Gradient. No. Either the universe is very small in order for us to have a logical gradient that we see, right? Or universe is vast and all filled with similar amounts of gas pressure that we experience over here. But
The question is gas
that's not
pressure.
supported by their maths.
The question is gas pressure without a container.
Owen's
not the
answer
universe.
implied containment regardless, basically, though, didn't it?
Well, if space would be infinite, then it would have to be filled with infinite amount of air.
Right. Regardless of it being a mathematical conception of infinitesimal, but it's not. We must be contained.
I haven't seen an infinite barometer.
Right. Either way, we must have containment to have gas pressure. So
Yes.
Might be worth a conspiracy cats quote. Quote, without the container, there can be no pressure. End quote. Conspiracy Cats, 2019.
Yep.
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Nope. No, very little about that.
What else have we had? Or not had?
Well, we
missed any?
didn't do the first one because we were talking about it from the pre-show.
I count that as... I can't verbalise the question. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge horizon formerly known as Earth curvature?
Not from a weather balloon.
Not ever. We don't see the geometric horizon.
Well, maybe a non-physical sphere edge curve.
That sounds a bit of a contradiction in terms, Alwyn, but sure.
Well, I have a question that I was going to try to bring up, but my mic was giving me all kinds of crap.
Go ahead.
How does something non-physical block something from the bottom up?
It doesn't. It's a contradiction in terms. I think that's it then.
But
That
isn't
goes.
wait. Hang on a second, though. Isn't there an effect in refraction called sinking? And wouldn't that start to cause things to sink or disappear from bottom up?
Depends on how you reify the thing that you claim it's sinking behind. If you turn the horizon into a physical sphere edge, then we're back to the same conclusion. That which cannot be seen, measured, or in existence in physicality cannot simultaneously be blocking something. If, however, you say it's an optical effect because X is happening in the atmosphere, well, maybe. Maybe it can be demonstrated on a flat plane by Andrew Thomas Young. But, I mean, ultimately speaking, it's not reifying the sphere edge horizon into the sphere edge horizon, is it? So it might be relevant if you're just on an investigatory path. It seems moot in regards to whether or not we've got a physical geometric sphere edge for a horizon. But that's me. I always want to stay on topic, Paul.
Well, let me help Paul here with sinking is the opposite of looming. In sinking, stationary objects that are normally seen above the horizon appear to be lowered or may even disappear below the horizon. Looming is the most noticeable, most often observed of these refraction phenomena. It is abnormally large refraction of the object that increases the apparent elevation of the distant objects and sometimes allows an observer to see objects that are located below the horizon under normal condition.
Yeah.
So guess what? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say below. Well, that statement is begging the question in itself. So the word below implies a physical geometric sphere edge horizon for the item to be below.
Yes. So all of their refraction arguments have to do with objects in relationship to a supposed geometrical physical horizon edge. It's not the horizon that's looming or sinking. It's objects either sinking below this supposed edge or above the supposed edge.
Yeah, so you're going to need an edge. And we've debunked it with the black swan. You don't have an edge anymore, right? We do not see the geometric horizon. Yeah, you need it, though. You definitely need an edge for geometry.
Well, it gets better because they double down and say where this measurement is based on. This effect is caused by unusually large terrestrial refraction.
A terrestrial refraction, but that assumes a radius value. You'd need a geometric horizon for it to have geometric considerations with terrestrial refraction. You definitely need to prove the R value, and you definitely need a geometric sphere edge tangent point to measure to get that R value. Now, all that's been debunked. So, no, we're definitely not going to be utilising terrestrial refraction. That needs R. And we've debunked R.
And both globe proofs that would presume or be able to measure it have refraction involved, right? Like the sun at the solstice over a refracted horizon, and Alberuni, which is looking at a refracted horizon. So refraction's in both, right?
Yeah, it's part of how R died. Such a shame.
All optics, ballers.
Morning, fellas.
Morning.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
Yo, yo. So sad to walk in and hear that the R value has been debunked. It's very sad.
Are you holding a vigil?
No, it's not that sad. Well, maybe like that's what this is. We're gathering together for the ballers, for them to share their pain, right?
January 2020, where the presupposed R died. They've been in mourning for 6 months.
It's actually the funeral that no one showed up at. That's what happened.
In
Oh, I don't
case
know
it
about
keeps
that.
moving.
It's more like Weekend at Bernie's. It's more like
That's
Weekend
why
at
we have
Bernie's.
it every day.
Say it's the funeral people didn't turn up for. It's more like Weekend at Bernie's with them dragging around the corpse. Hey, look, it's still alive.
The eulogy one day was a mile, 0.22 out. The next day it was over 10 miles. They can't find the place.
Yeah, it's Weekend at Bernie's for the Globe, but because they're refusing to book the funeral. They'd rather carry the corpse around.
Oh gosh, good one.
It'll just be buried in a mass grave with all the other heliocentric proofs.
Now they're just gonna mummify it.
They
might
can't
get put in.
get a hold of the symmetry of it anymore.
For all we know, it's come out of cold storage and it'll go back in. So in other words, 2 or 3 generations down the line, they'll just bring it out of cold storage again, and 5 generations from now, we'll just we always knew we were on a sphere. Just dig it out, dust it off. Oh yeah, didn't we have that heliocentric bullshit? Yeah, we'll just wheel that out again.
You're probably right, Nathan. So
Isn't there a TV show called Cold Case or something? Oh,
There's a couple of them.
yeah. Unsolved mysteries. Where did the R go?
I've always thought that since Flat Earth, and thinking back on 1984, where he's torturing the guy and he's like, "Do you not think it's beyond our mathematicians to make the stars far or close?"
Yeah, great line to slip in there, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's all they got is math. That's how they've done it. It's all
mathematicians, right?
calculations.
Yeah.
and physicality assumption bias. They always lean on that.
Certainly with heliocentrism, yeah.
Well, isn't that where Einstein took them?
In terms of the physicality of it all, no, I don't think that was
No,
Einstein.
conception, imaginary.
Oh yeah, well he took it out of the ever capable of being debunked in the real world and into the conceptual, never to be debunked, because the maths will always be the abstraction that it is. It'll, the maths can be claimed to work, and if you've got a limitation, like with the 2-body problem, well, you can just say one. Well, that's why we only use one. That's how it works in the maths. Well, you just use one. Can't solve for more than one mass. Well, yeah, just use one then. That's the kind of answer you'd get.
Yeah. Don't worry about all the other ones we see out there. No. just use one. It'll work. Don't worry.
Or if you want to calculate for one of those other ones out there, just calculate for that one. Because that's what it's good for. Just work within the parameters of the maths. Maths has got parameters. What's your problem?
Well, in this imaginary conceptual world of theirs, they've got dark matter, they've got all these things, and all we're asking them is to show us a physical R.
Yeah, but isn't it weird how since we've been asking for them to show us that, they've been telling us how we can't see it? Because we weren't always asking. But when we weren't asking, we were being told how much we could see of it. As soon as we start asking if we can see it, we're told we can't. It's really weird. Look, this is Earth curve. Look at this picture.
It's the same thing as when we started asking, where's the science? Remember, science proves the globe. Okay, Globers, where's your science? Where are we today? Science doesn't prove things.
Yeah, because they had pseudoscience the whole time, and their pseudoscience absolutely proves nothing. Science definitely proves stuff. Quick shout out to flatearthchannel.com. It's one of my patrons. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. When do you think the government will admit the Earth is flat? Never. How do you think the people will react? They won't. As it will prove they were in on it, I think is what he's trying to say. I can't see it at the end of the screen. No, it won't. They weren't in on it. The people who perpetrate this lie, in my opinion, flatearthchannel.com, is us. We are the perpetrators of this deception. There is no they to hold to account. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, they tell us. You know, we give examples all the time of how Andrew Thomas Young, as is the one we've talked about today, explains how you need to take geometrical considerations. Now, it's subtle, and it might slip you by, but they're admitting it. You know, they tell you, the most obvious one is actually far more glaring. It's the heliocentric model. They're not deceiving you. It's a philosophical standpoint to view the Earth as a sphere, a way of conceptualizing the sky. That's what it is. And it's aptly described as a model. Now, while we might fight here all day long, well, that means it's real. No, it doesn't. But all of us were, at least some level, aware that it's a philosophical viewpoint. And if you were to go to the effort of actually looking into it in any sort of detail, you'd find precisely that it's explained in that way. We're not having to make up citations like Craig does when he straps on little bits of text to the end of videos. We just go to the rhetoric, dig out what they say, and they tell you all of our refraction's done on a flat plane. But when we're thinking about Earth being a sphere, we take sphere considerations. I mean, you don't have to read between the lines much. Therefore, it's us who will go out and say, well, that means Earth is a sphere. We do the work for a they that doesn't exist, in other words. There is no they. There's a Cavendish who came up with a fanciful quote-unquote experiment that it isn't to prove gravity to get around a problem in this model. But that's one dude. Well, there's many, many, many one dudes. Well, do you go and dig up Cavendish? Well, no, of course not. Do you blame him entirely? No. Do you blame anybody else, like again, Thunderfoot, because he's perpetrating the sky vacuum lie at the moment? Does that make him solely responsible for the sky vacuum lie? No. But as individuals, we are the people who perpetrate the lie. And if we were to go to some government body and say, you lied to us about the Earth being a sphere, they go, what the hell are you talking about? That's just how it's written down. Look, it's in this book. In other words, they probably wouldn't have the vaguest clue what you were talking about. And the fact that we've woken up to the reality and realised, oh shit, consensus is against us with a complete nonsense that the Earth's a sphere. Well, unless you're a flat Earth evangelist, so what? You know the nature of reality. It's quite wondrous. I take that as a massive plus. But do you need to chase down somebody to blame? Blame yourself. Sorry, flatearthchannel.com, if that offends you. But it was all of our own faults. We all deceived ourselves. We didn't do enough investigation into it. And if we had, it'd have laid it out like Andrew Thomas Young does. Geometrical considerations. Oh, right. Why do we need to do that if we're standing on a sphere? Well, we're not. It's just a model. And they made that clear. Shout out to Retro Bill. Enjoying the show with my wife, Joanna. She sends a big shout out to baby Clover. Oh, she's not here at the moment, but I'll tell her when she gets back. Retro Bill. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Really do appreciate your support. I hope Joanna's been enjoying me berating Globeheads. Like, more so than normal.
It's Friday.
Not just him. It's even NASA themselves and their documents. And not just NASA, Army, CIA. They all have documents where they clearly say that they assume the Earth to be flat and stationary when they put vehicles in the air. Right? When they design their shit, they all take it as flat and stationary. Now, why would they do that if that's the exact opposite of what we live on?
No, they don't.
Is that right?
No, they don't.
So planes account for drop. So planes account for drop.
Well, when you trim...
Sounds like you're stuttering. So planes account for drop, do they?
They account for trying to keep their altitude the same. That's how they go along. And
that's not accounting for drop, though, is it? So that would be a no, then. So planes do not account for drop.
They do that by just keeping their altitude the same.
But keeping their altitude the same isn't accounting for drop. You seem to be double speaking pretty quick. This was fun, wasn't it?
We don't understand what you're talking about.
I don't understand what I'm talking about. I'm asking a question. Does it account for drop while they maintain level flight? Well, okay. Is that accounting for drop? Yes or no?
Let me
stutter away. Yeah, I don't mind letting you stutter away while I have you over a barrel immediately with the fact that planes do not account for drop. Neither does Google Earth. Interesting, that, isn't it? It's interesting that we describe us as having sea level as well. Isn't that interesting? Planes don't account for drop. We've got sea level. Google doesn't account for drop. But what? You need to stammer and stutter a little bit while I hand you your ass? Yeah, go ahead.
Scaredy cat.
Scaredy cat? Oh, beautiful. Yeah, they are projecting their fear, aren't they? Yeah, they are. You were right, Arwin. I got him over a barrel immediately, and now he's claiming I'm scared of him. My God, should I put the camera on when I'm looking like I am, with my feet up? Like, literally couldn't be any more relaxed. But no, definitely not scaredy cat. Scaredy cat. No. Planes don't account for drop, Rumpus.
Scared of my answers, aren't you,
I think
Nathan?
I know what Rumpus is trying to say. I think he's just assuming R-based drop on a geometrical model, and just assuming that when you go in a straight line, the curve just happens, even though you're literally going in a straight line. So I think he's just assuming R-based
No,
drop.
it doesn't go in a straight line.
Does it assume drop?
That's the movie.
What about
Wait a
drop?
minute. He said planes fly in a straight line.
I could
Realize,
answer.
Rumpus. Wait a minute.
I could answer.
Did he say that?
Planes
Oh
try-
my God.
Planes
I
trying
just
a straight
answer.
line. Yeah, they do, yeah.
No, apparently not. No, I'm not going to get a chance to answer, am I? All right, here we go. Aeroplanes are trimmed to maintain the same altitude, and to do that, they curve with the curve of the Earth.
So they account for
Very
drop
simple.
then?
Effectively, yes.
Effectively sounds like a weasel word there, doesn't it?
Last time we used that word, it meant fictitious.
Fictitious
Wait a
curve?
minute.
They account for the
Hold on.
fictitious drop.
I remember
It's a
that.
necessary consequence
there's a-
of maintaining your altitude.
What? So it's a
There's a
necessary
contradiction.
contradiction that to maintain level flight without drop, you're going to assume that it's just accounting for it anyway. That sounds like a glaring contradiction.
Necessary consequence of
Yeah, of assuming a globe. We understand that. Being level and having no drop is a necessary consequence of you assuming a globe when you're not accounting for any drop.
if you
I think I
maintain your
totally called
altitude,
it.
you will curve around with the surface of the Earth. And that's what they do.
But that would be
Remember-
accounting for drop. That would mean that you've got to scrub off
Effectively,
altitude.
they don't have to do it direct.
I go on, shout like a bitch. That would mean you've got to scrub off altitude, though, wouldn't it?
Effectively, that's what happens, but they don't do it
So they
directly.
scrub off altitude, so they descend around the drop.
No, they
then.
don't scrub.
Oh, I see. Well, it seems like we've got a contradiction again. What a shock. Wow, we've got a whole lot of contradictions about this drop. Why is it so convoluted? If the Earth is dropping away from us, then they've got to drop around the curve of the Earth that they're dropping around, right?
In their altitude, they maintain their altitude and thereby, in effect,
In effect, hold on, just be drop.
their
Not in effect.
altitude,
Just drop.
maintaining
Here's
their
that word
altitude
again.
Hold
means
on.
effectively you
Can I
account
ask
for drop.
Why does he
Just
keep
one
saying
quick-
effectively? There's either drop or there isn't drop. Now, if as I look out to the horizon, it's claimed the Earth's dropping away from us, then it's going to drop away from the plane, and it's just going to have to cope with that drop.
Not if it maintains its altitude.
Not if it maintains. No, to maintain altitude, it would have to cope with the drop.
No, it wouldn't.
Oh, right. Yeah, it would. Yeah, that's what would be drop. According to the claim of a sphere Earth, we look out and the Earth's dropping away from us. So you can be damn sure that if the plane's flying over a curve, it's going to have to drop. But what Rumpus is now going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is explain why it doesn't have to do that. Because we're surrounded by fundy zealots who justify why we don't have drop.
It trims itself.
Yeah, we've heard that shite over and over again. It trims itself to maintain level, and I'll assume a sphere Earth, and therefore not account for drop, because it's automatically accounted for. Effectively, we've already accounted for it, because we've effectively assumed we've got a sphere when the Earth's flat.
Contain altitude. It trims itself such that it doesn't.
Keep just saying the same thing, so let's just establish
Nathan,
from
if it goes up
Neil,
slightly,
if he's not listening
the
to
air
me.
pressure decreases, and that
Neil's
means
still
the
here.
lift is reduced. So then
He's
it
not
dips
listening to
down
me
very
anymore, is he?
slightly.
He hasn't listened
and
to
then
any
it
of my
carries on
responses, has he?
In that mode.
He hasn't listened.
Well, you
has
don't
he?
let me talk.
It's because
keep
you
on
haven't listened to any of my
overtalking me. I'll never
responses.
get a
You've
chance to
talked through them
answer.
all.
How
and he's
about
still
we
not
take
listening.
turns, Nathan? How
Yeah,
about
this is
that?
what they're going to do.
And you can listen to
Yeah,
me,
this is the
and I
end.
can
This is the
listen
end
to
of the
you.
barrel.
How about
This is
that?
the end, isn't it? It's the end.
How about let's take turns?
No.
I know you're scared of me
You've not listened to a word I've said.
I know you're
I've demolished you. You just haven't listened.
So you don't want
scaredy cat, scaredy cat, scaredy cat. Scaredy cat.
So
I've already given you a rebuttal.
I'm happy to talk to you, Nathan.
Yeah, scaredy cat. You keep talking. This is you being scared.
You're scared to
you haven't got a rebuttal.
You're scared to debate.
Yeah. You're not going to do that. I'm going to do that to you. Because all he's done is talk non-stop so he didn't have to respond to a word I said. Because he has nothing. Nothing. So when I point out there's no drop, and the planes definitely aren't accounting for them, first thing he did was go, stutter. Because he had to quickly think, fuck, we're at the conclusion where I'm screwed. And then he just kept repeating the same thing about them trimming to remain level over and over and over again. So he didn't have to listen and respond to my rebuttal. It's absolutely pathetic. This is why I've said he's got no point being here anymore. I just bring it to the demolition immediately now. And that's why we got the little stutter and stammer. Because he knew he was already fucked as soon as he started talking to me. Yeah, scaredy cat, scaredy cat. It's the end of the globe, fundies. When are you going to realise? All that's going to happen from here on in is flat earthers are going to be telling you off and pointing out how stupid you are with your contradictions and your doublespeak about how planes can fly around a sphere but don't have to account for any drop that we're supposed to be seeing when we look out towards things dropping away from us. Yeah, that don't happen though, does it? Just like Earth doesn't turn underneath, and he'd be justifying why we don't see Coriolis effect, the thing that's supposed to prove we're on a globe. All you've got for globe proof is total doublespeak. He must be so proud to be a globe head at the moment, right? Laugh it up. Who's laughing? Who's with me? Who's laughing? I'm certainly laughing right now. This is ace. Who's next?
Nathan, can I ask a very relevant, quick question to Rumpus if he's still even listening? I don't know.
Nah, he stuck his fingers in the ears the moment I stopped him from saying, it's trimming for altitude, it's trimming for altitude, it's trimming for altitude, 600 times, so he didn't have to listen to my response. The moment I stopped him from doing that, he stuck his fingers in his ears. Either it's him talking continually, so he doesn't have to respond to a rebuttal, or he's not listening at all. He's like the last guy. But we have had to drag it out to that stage where I can identify it. The last guy literally said, I'm not staying. I'm not listening. Did you say something? He just verbalised what Rumpus does. La, la, la. He stuck his fingers in his ears the moment I stopped him rumpusing. I obfuscated my rebuttal. That's all they've got. It's great. Shout out to Flat Earth Fisherman. I can't read it on this screen. Someone else super chat so I can read him. No, I'm only joking. Let's see if I can scroll down.
Every survey of every piece of property on Earth is measured using horizontal distances.
Thank you very much for the super chat, Flat Earth Fisherman.
Right.
Thank you, Owen.
Can I ask my question? If Rumpus isn't listening, then I want you to hear it at least.
Go ahead.
Okay. So when Rumpus made that statement about the drop of the plane, right? When he was saying that, was he saying that based on Euclidean geometry or circumdicular geometry?
Circumdicular. Shout out to Al Junkie, who says, Rumpus claims radius must be on drugs. Narcotics. Very good. Thanks for the super chat.
Can I chime in real quick? I know it's already almost past it, but didn't he say that planes fly in a straight line? Didn't he?
Yeah,
say
he
that?
did.
Did I catch that?
You did. You highlighted it just after he said it. You did come through.
Okay, now let's
will remain level. Yeah, he said that numerous times.
Okay, now let's think. No, he actually said plane.
Oh, you broke up, Paul. Paul.
Get stunned. Scaredy cat. Scaredy cat.
Did you repeat all that? Hold on, Owen. Can you repeat all that, Paul? You broke up.
Oh, am I still? I mean, I thought Arwen jumped over me. Am I coming through?
I can blame Arwen as well. It was definitely Arwen's fault, but can you repeat it all?
I said, okay. Rumpus decides to pull 5th grade or elementary school tactics. Scaredy cat, scaredy cat. Okay, I'm going to pull some elementary math on him. What's a straight line? I've got it on screen. What's a curved line in the picture?
A line that does not curve. That'd be a straight line, right? Like a tangent.
Yeah, straight line. Now the bottom is a curved line. So How can a plane fly in a straight line and over a curve at the same time?
You
Please
can't.
explain.
You have to double speak and obfuscate all around that. Explain away why the plane's not dropping or accounting for any drop. You have to do all sorts of crazy things if you've got a presupposition that Earth's sphere when the plane is blatantly travelling in a straight line on a flat surface, maintaining its altitude, nose up. Yeah, it's definitely not scrubbing off any altitude. It doesn't need to. It's travelling on a flat plane.
In
That's why they-
circumdicular in circumdicular geometry, there are no straight lines except for perfectly vertical straight lines.
It's in.
Well, technically,
It's in the name, airplane. It's not air curve.
well, and even in Einstein's with the special relativity, there is no straight lines. You can't. There's not. They don't exist. You can't have them. So how can anything go on a straight line if it's the case? Nothing can.
Oh, well, you can have it actually travelling in the really is level in a straight line, but then transpose mathematical geodesics onto it. And then you could describe it as travelling in a curved path. It's just mathematical reification, but I mean, you can still describe it that way mathematically. Sleeping Warrior's recent video with Fight the Flat Earth deserves a big shout out. He is a relentless debater. So there's Retro Bill with the super chat. Thank you very much indeed for your support. Yeah, big shout out to Sleeping Warrior. Sleeping Warrior's ace. Agreed.
Well, let's unpack that mathematics for a second. So I technically could have everything logically work out mathematically, perfectly, on paper, describe things wonderfully. But can that thing that I'm describing on paper be real?
No, maths isn't real. Maths is abstractions. Maths is abstract.
So math describes things, right? We've talked about, I think we said that on the pre-show. Well, I can describe things with your language. I can describe things in detail with colors and flowers and smells and all this fun stuff. But my pink unicorn still exists in my backyard. That
Mathematically.
poops out Skittles or eats Skittles and poops out cupcakes, even though I described it perfectly.
I'm sure you can calculate it perfectly too. But no, not on the really is level, I'm afraid, Paul. Quick shout out to Flat Earth Fisherman. How many straight lines does it take to make a ball? Really appreciate your support. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Flat Earth Fisherman. And with that, I'm going to say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you're watching this live on Nathan Oakley 1980, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's live show possible, and of course, a massive thank you to all of you who smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching on a premiering stream. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!